afternoon. I'm Carla Day. I'm the Young Adult Librarian at the Bartram Trail Branch Public Library. And I wish that we could see you there, but I thought today I could share a craft with you that we have done at the Bartram Trail Branch with our teens before. However, I think this would be good for any age because what we're going to do today is make a Japanese Zen garden or rock garden. And this was very popular this summer that we did this with our teens. So a little bit of history about Zen gardens. So they started, they came over to Japan from China starting in about the 12th century. But they really became popular about the same time as the Italian Renaissance. And that is when the monks brought it into the country and they started making these gardens, and they proved to be very popular with the samurai and the warlords because they were focused on meditating and clearing their minds, and the act of doing the Zen garden was popular. Now the Zen gardens that they had were full size. They were like great big parks. You would stand up on a platform to see the design. So they're not the little rock gardens that we have on our desk, but that's where we get the concept from. You can still go to those gardens in Japan today, and also they are all over the world, and not just at temples, at residential places. But anyway, let's see. So what they did was, instead of using plants and mountains and all of that for backdrops, they actually replaced water with sand, which became the blank or empty place, and it represents water. And that's why you use a rake or something else to make designs in the sand. It's to represent the water. So anyway, and the rocks represent the plants and other landscapes that aren't there. So let's get started. So I have some sand here, and you can use any kind of sand that you want. Typically it is a light colored sand, but if you have aquarium sand or something like that, if you bring in sand from outside, I would make sure that it was clean. So this plate is one that I had gotten from the World Market some time back. It's just square. What you're looking for is something that has a little bit of depth to it so that you can pour your sand in. So I can do that. I'm going to take some of this white sand, which actually seems to have a little pink to it. It's been sitting a while. This sand I got at Hobby Lobby in the wedding section, believe it or not, and it's not very expensive. It was $2.99, but with a 40% off coupon, it's less than that. But of course, I don't know if you can see this, but I am actually using this fork from a fast food restaurant, and it actually draws very good wave patterns. But if you don't have a plate, what you can do is I found this in my refrigerator. It had cheese in it. I could pour my sand in there, and I could do the same things or whatever you have. So here we go. So you would fill that up with sand, and that will work just fine. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. Or I have another round plate here. It's not a pizza pan, but as you can see, if you have a round pizza pan at your house, you could also use that. So typically, when they made the rock gardens, a very typical pattern is to have groups of 3. So, and you can do that in any way that you want. But what I'm going to do here is I've got some of these glass flat stones that you may have around your house for something, and I can do a group of 3 with those. And I know this is hard for you to see, but there is that. And you can use a rake, and I do have a rake because I had bought those whenever I had the program. But actually this little thing works almost as well as I'm comparing it, because it does. You can also, and my grandkids like to do this. This is just one of those butter knives that has a curve to it, and I can flatten out my sand with it. And anyway, I can take my rocks, and you can make rock formations. So some of these I just went out in my yard and got, so I could do like a big rock right here in the middle. and then I could draw my circles around it. Because remember, when you're drawing, the sand was to show the movement of water. So there you go. I have some black rocks here I could use. And again, a group of 3. And that was typical. You don't have to do groups of 3. The other thing that you might do, and this, whenever I did this originally, I didn't realize that there were no plants in the rock gardens because I like living plants. And I had actually gone out and got some succulents and put them in a pot and put that in my plant. And people really seem to like this. I had this on the reference desk, and people of all ages, from young to old, would come up and draw designs in it, and it proved to be very popular. So if you would like something that would be relaxing to do and something that it's also good for when you are stressed out or when children need something kinetic to ease their minds a little bit with anxiety, I just think this would be a very good thing to have. Again, we miss you very much at the libraries, and thank you so much for coming to my house and visiting. I do have some art up on the walls. This was done by my daughter. This is the St. Johns River, and over here is a painting done by my aunt, who actually was an art teacher. So again, we miss you very much and hope to see you again soon.